Welcome to Life Point. This is Pastor Dell, and you've joined us right here on Life Point TV. This is the place where we encourage you to stay on the path that leads to real life. I'm glad that you're joining us here today as we continue our study series. We have been led to go back to our theme verse for this ministry, Psalm chapter 16, verse 11. If you haven't joined us in the previous sessions, you can check the menu here on LifePoint TV and get the first or second versions of this message, so that you can get the full teaching and instruction here. But let's zone in on where we left off. Psalm 16, verse 11. Thou wilt show me the path of life. Show me the path of life. In thy presence is fullness of joy. That's where we left off. In his presence is fullness of joy. We understand that God shows us, reveals, makes known to us the path of life. The embedded assumption here is that without God's guidance, we cannot have life. We only have life because he has revealed, he has shown us the path of life. We've established that. In revealing his path, the path that is suited for us, it is established that he is present. And because God is present, we have fullness. Note that, underline that, fullness of joy. Here is the teaching revelation. If we have fullness of joy because he is present, it should tell us that we should not have to settle for chasing after what is less than the fullness of joy. In other words, I can't be satisfied with just getting a part or portion when the fullness of joy is available. I don't know about you, but if that full cup of joy is available to me, then I don't want to be paying for a half a cup. I don't want to settle for a partial cup. I am pursuing the fullness of joy. It's only in God's presence. And we can only be in his presence if we are walking in the path that leads to life, the path that he shows us. So that's the spiritual fringe benefit, that we have access to fullness of joy. Ooh, I hope you can see the application here. See, it doesn't mean that every experience in my life is going to be joyful. But I am going to experience every heartache, every pain, every challenge, every setback with fullness of joy. So just because the experience is not joyful doesn't mean I'm not going to be full of joy, no matter what obstacle, opposition I'm facing. Why? Because God is with me. His rod and his staff, they will comfort me. He prepares, makes a way for me, even in the presence of my enemies. He prepares that table. No matter where I am, I told you I would rather be in his presence. I would rather be everywhere where God is present. I don't want to be anywhere where he's absent, where he's not with me. So I'm not chasing after a half a cup. I want the fullness of joy. And I'm not going to allow, listen to this, I'm not going to allow my circumstances to dictate the measure of joy that I can experience. I'm going to bring or walk in the fullness of joy no matter what circumstance I might be facing in any given day. Let's look at the latter part of this verse so we can wrap this segment up. Look at this. Look at this. At thy right hand, this is the latter part of verse 11. At thy right hand there are pleasures forevermore. Ooh, watch this. at the right hand of God. And we understand we are speaking in metaphoric reference. God is not does not have the same frame and format as you and I. Does not have or is not limited to physical um, our physical elements, our physical structure. So there's not a literal left and right hand, but we're talking about in regards to his authority. The right hand represents the authority of God. And it says, at his right hand are pleasures. Look at that. Pleasures forevermore at the right hand of God. When we are seated in the presence of right authority, there is nothing that we will ever have to fear, nothing that we will ever have to wonder in regards to whether or not we will be taken care of. Every pleasure, the word pleasure is not a reference to personal satisfaction. We're not talking about uh, feasting on our own lustful desires. But we're talking about every pleasure, everything that brings pleasure to the work of God is at his right hand, at his disposal. There is nothing that is needed or necessary that is not available, already present. Watch this, pay attention, present at his right hand. God's not chasing after our blessing or after our provision or after our protection to try to bring it to us or to manufacture it for us. It's already where? It's present. It's at his right hand. Every pleasure, every good and perfect gift, everything that we have need of is already present at his right hand, at his pleasure. In other words, at his will, the pleasure of his will. Everything that we will have need of is already present. He doesn't have to send for it. Doesn't have to chase after it, capture it, and bring it to us. It's already present. It's his authority, his goodwill, his pleasure. It's translated in the New Testament like this. It is the Father's good pleasure to give us the kingdom, to give us the access to everything that he has jurisdiction, oversight, everything that he has rulership of. And the last time I checked, cattle on 1,000 hills all belong to him. Silver and gold, yet still belongs to him. No matter whose money, whose hand the money is in, it still belongs to him. So today, I want us to have confidence that he will show us the path that leads to life, that in his presence we can have the fullness of joy, and at his right hand we have the pleasure of his will working in our life. God bless you. Listen, this is Pastor Dale encouraging you to stay on the path that leads to real life.